you find working in the industry?
It's extremely entertaining and extremely fun and extremely frustrating and hard at the same time. If emotionally, it's a roller coaster, especially if you're creatively invested in your work, which you need to be successful. You're going to have highs and lows that are going to just you're going to feel like a woman. Sorry. Okay. Your emotions are going to go high when you're producing good work. You're going to feel on top of the world. And then the director's going to come and say, not going to use it. And you're going to want to go cry in your pillow all day long. Okay? And it's going to go high and it's going to go low. And that's your career. Constantly up and down and up and down and up and down. If it's not, if you're just kind of even keel, then you're not pushing yourself hard enough. You're not investing in yourself hard enough. You're not investing your brain and your soul and your creativity into that scene or that project that you're working on. And if you're not investing in yourself, then you're not giving it your all, and it's not going to come out to be a real work of art. It's going to be something mediocre, like Shrek.
Another question: Do you find that you perform at your highest level all the time? Are you able to do that all the time as a professional?
No.
Sometimes it's a little.
No. Yeah. There is a science to working at a high level of creativity, and that science is always being figured out by the individual, and it's always it's just individually based, right? But you have to figure out what that is, that formula that works best for you. Music is a major player. I know this sounds weird, but what you had for breakfast, okay, actually affects your creativity. Are you getting along with your significant other? Is a major player. Are you irritable? Is a major player for some reason. Did you get enough sleep? Majorly affects your level of creativity. Here's a huge one. Did you get exercise? Did you get on your feet or on your bike or go on hikes? Or do you raise your heart rate above 60 beats per minute, right? Every now and then, at least 3 times a week. I'm a huge believer in that heightened level of fitness. I'm not talking about like Iron Man, right? Or anything, obsessive like that. But it's just staying relatively fit, okay? Enables your body to be a lot more comfortable, enables you to work longer hours, and the endorphins kick in, and those endorphins last all day. If I know I've got a big project that I'm working on, and I know I've got to invest, a good 8 hours sitting in that chair drawing, holy cow, if I don't get out and take the first half hour to an hour and go do something, even if it's like mowing the lawn, right? But do something to just get the blood going and kind of kick out some of the toxins and get the heart rate elevated a little bit. That always helps me when I then sit down to work. My body's a little more tired, but the endorphins kick in, the brain is firing, and I'm ready to work, right? If I'm just like groggy and I sit down, I got out of work, and I'm drawing, and I feel crappy, and I work. That creativity doesn't flow. Now this is my own philosophy, right? I mean, some of you will develop your own, but I found that a moderate degree of physical exercise fuels creativity. It's just like gasoline on the fire. Okay. And also, your relationship with God is huge. If your life isn't in order, you're not going to get the divine help that you need. Okay? Make sure that's very, very important. Okay? There are things in your life that aren't straight. Okay? You're putting a wall up between the greatest educator of them all. And he's not going to be able to teach you what you need to learn if your life isn't in order. But when your life's in order, that conduit's open. And he knows you're trying to learn something. And he then becomes that teacher and starts teaching you things that even the faculty aren't teaching you. That's very important.
I think that's maybe a little bit personal or whatever, but it kind of goes with that. It's something I've thought of, I'm sure that people have too. In drawing the figure and all these kind of things, like, how do you keep your mind clean sometimes? Or like trying to stay focused, you know what I mean?
Oh, I know what you're getting at. And it comes. At first, yeah. I remember taking my first figure drawing class when I was 16. My high school teacher recommended it. And I grew up out in Southern California, and it was at a community college, and the models were new, and I was 16. And I remember just being like, oh my gosh, should I be doing this? Right? And my parents were like ultra conservative. They were like, Rush Limbaugh lovers, And but they encouraged it. They felt like it would be good for me as an artist, and felt like if I was mature enough and I could do it, then stick with it. You need to draw the figure, right? It's a requirement. It's a worthy requirement. But developing that maturity and that distance from things you shouldn't necessarily be thinking about just comes in time. And it comes with your own personal preparation for the class. I've become so accustomed to it now that it doesn't even faze me. Whether we use models here or whether I'm figure drawing in the studio in LA and with new models, I just I don't even think about that anymore. But in the beginning, I think that level of preparation helps. Before you go to the class, just take some time to communicate with the Lord and let Him know what you're doing. Let Him know that you want to advance your career, and this is a requirement, and you're desiring to look past some of the sensations, I guess, if you want to call it, and you want to be mature, and you want to recognize the body for the beauty that it is, and leave it at that. Don't go beyond.